Hi students, good afternoon. Alright, so we meet again. So I'm Cikgu Adelina binti Adelina, but my students call me Teacher Ad. Okay, so I think this is my second round of having a sharing session with everybody. Okay, so what we are going to do is more on discussing how to go about with paper one especially, right? And today we're going to start off with English SPM Trial 2020, and I've chosen Kelantan, and we'll do paper one first for today, right? Okay, so without further ado, all right, let me do some introduction of what paper one is. Now, paper one is actually reading and the use of English paper, whereby in this paper you have like 40 questions, and the last end of the question, there are 8 more questions where students actually have to write down the answer. It's a written paper, so this is actually a hybrid paper, meaning that students can actually write, and at the same time they have to answer multiple choice questions given in the question paper. Okay, right. For paper one, you have 40 questions, which is equivalent to 40 marks. So each question brings you 1 mark, and in paper one, you have 5 parts, whereby each part will have a different length of text. Number of words, the difficulty of words increases from part 1, part 2, and part 3. And you could see that how the process is being, how the process goes on, whereby we have like shorter text in the first part, then we go to a longer text in the second part. There is also a part where students are being tested on their vocabulary and grammar as well. Okay, all right. So for your information, there is a combination of questions of multiple choice, and you have reading. Reading means you have comprehension question. I think 2 sets of comprehension question whereby students have to answer. One is multiple choice, and another one is not a multiple choice, but they have to suit certain sentences to a suitable paragraph or to a suitable line of sentence in a paragraph. Okay, all right, now let's begin. All right, okay, now let's look at the first question. I already put there the answer for question number 1. All right, now how do we actually answer question part 1? Part 1, if you were to look, there are 8 questions altogether. So these 8 questions, students are only given 3 multiple choice questions, and it's a very direct to the point. So if you look at the techniques that I already put in the text, you can see that there's only 3 A, B, C choices, and you can see that the text is a little bit shorter compared to the next part. Okay, all right. Now the first part of the question, for question number 1, this particular question requires students to give the purpose of why Shaira is writing the email. So where do you get the answer? Right now, if you were to read in the first line right up until the end, when you say purpose usually would be somewhere. The idea, the context of idea will be in the middle, but the requirement could be at the end here. Okay, so you look what I meant. I'm so disappointed I missed the opportunity to serve as the volunteer for the elephant conservation program in Kelantan. I heard that it was an unforgettable experience to many. I heard that the next program will take place in November, and I would like to join it. You can see here, I would like to join, emphasizing on I would like joining the activity. Can you help me register my name as a volunteer? A question is being posed. Therefore, you can see that the purpose of Shaira writing this email is actually what? To ask for Ani's help to sign up her name for the program. You see 2, meaning that this is the person that she's asking for help. It is not A because this is not a disappointment of expression of disappointment. This is more asking for help by Shahira to Anis. Okay, all right. Let's go to the second question. Now, second question requires student to find which of the following statement is true? The following statement means the choices are given here. So I put there A. Aida and Zaki are classmates. Why is the answer A? Alright, here look. Aida, have you started preparing for exam? No, Zaki, I will start from tomorrow onward. If the exam is too near, Aida, it will be better if you start now and don't wait for tomorrow. Please don't make your mother disappointed again with your exam result. I can help you with our studies. Okay, thanks for reminding me. See you in our class tomorrow. The word here is our class, the key word. So if you look at the choices made, Zaki and Aida and Zaki are classmates. Zaki is just concerned about herself. Definitely B is not the answer. C, Aida has a good academic achievement. It doesn't mention anywhere here that Aida has good academic achievement. So therefore, the true statement will be A. Is it? It's very clear, isn't it? Alright. Okay, let's look at question number 3. Now, for question number 3, the answer is B. Why do we conclude that the air purifier is what? You look at this. This is actually an advertisement. I think that is this is an advertisement of air purifier. You can see that in the first part of the sentence, it already mentioned the first rubric, ideal for those who suffer from respiratory-related problems. Anything that has to do with respiratory, meaning something about your breathing, has to do with your lungs. And usually, the first rubric, the first bullet would be the main idea. Okay. Fabulous and reliable brands from United States and so forth, 60% off on the second purchase. Okay, on the second purchase. And then hurry, give us a call at 09 and the number is there. So here it is already mentioned, valid until 31st December, free mystery gift for every purchase. You look at the given choices here, to be imported. Is it to be imported? No, it is not to be imported. It is already mentioned about the products. Okay, and then good for people with asthma. Alright, this is the answer. Because why? Here is already mentioned respiratory related problems. On sale until the middle of the year. Is it? No, it's not even middle of the year. It's already December. This is actually end of the year. So this is definitely wrong. Therefore, the answer is B. Okay, now let's look at number 4. For question number 4, this is also an advertisement of what the cafe is doing. So they are actually celebrating their 25th anniversary and they're actually giving free marks to the customers. Alright, read again. So look at the question, what does the cafe promise? The keyword here is promise. Promise. What are they promising? So therefore, if you were to buy a whole cake, therefore you'll be getting a free 25th anniversary mark. See the name here and so forth. Okay, look at the option, free whole cake on 1st October. Is it? No, it's not free cake only on 1st of October. It is until stock lasts from 1st October, not on. See the duration of time? Okay, free mark for those who celebrate their 25th anniversary. We are not talking about the customer's anniversary. We are talking about the shop's anniversary. Therefore, the answer is C. So they will get free anniversary mark when you buy a whole cake from the cafe. Now, question number 5. This is also an advertisement of a movie, Makila. You can see the year 2022. You can see the age range. It has to be 13 above, 13 plus. So, but it doesn't mention any restriction of age. It doesn't mention. But it only puts here 13 plus. But if other younger viewers want to watch, there is no wrong. There's no harm in doing so. Okay, now, does it exceed more than 2 hours? No, it is stated here 1 hour and 57 minutes. Now, what does the question require the students to give? They have to make sure that they have to identify which of the following is not true. Not true. Incorrect. Okay, it is about a warrior from Pahang, is it? Yes, he is from Pahang. Okay, he is from Pahang. Okay, there, here mentioned in the poster, mentioned. Alright, B, its running time exceeds 2 hours. Does it exceed? Exceed means more than 2 hours. No, the time is here. Alright. It may not be appropriate for children under 13. Does it mention any inappropriate words? Not appropriate? No. See, not true. Not true means it has to be something which is incorrect. Somewhere here it's not incorrect. Okay, so the not true is its running time exceeds 2 hours. It may not be appropriate. May not be, it doesn't mean that the children under 13 cannot watch. It's just not appropriate. That's why they put here 13 plus. So the answer is B. Okay, question number 6. Now, for question number 6, it is about the Taman Sari Tower. Everyone knows Taman Sari Tower is in Malacca. So it's talking about the view, how many degrees of viewing, the height of it, everything is there. The location of the Taman Sari Tower, where is it all? It gives you also the figure, the height figure, right? How many meters, okay, and then how does it works? Does it revolves around? The cabin is made of what, and so forth. Okay, so this question is asking the students to find what is true about the flyer. So you can see here, A, the height of tower is 80 meters. Does it 80 meters? No. Okay, see, clear, 110. B, only 66 people can enter. Does it mention only? No. It only mentioned has a capacity. It has a capacity of 66, meaning that it can be more, but it would not be safe if it is more than, it would not be safe. Okay, the duration of the ride is revolving glass cabin is 7 minutes. Is it 7 minutes? Yes. See? The 7-minute ride enables you to view spectacular panoramic. 7 minutes ride means revolving glass cabin. Therefore, the answer is C. Okay. Let's look at number 7. Now, Shakir is someone probably writing for a magazine or a newspaper. So what does Shakir wants to share? What does Shakir wants to tell? So he's talking about exercise enthusiast who needs to realize that jogging in main roads is dangerous. So he's talking about joggers. Yeah, joggers. So he has seen that most joggers now like to use the shoulder of main roads, meaning that by the side of the road. Sometimes he can also see joggers in full gear, jogging in a main road in Pangkalan Ceper. Obviously that they are trying to simulate a marathon or running event which are conducted in a controlled manner. Now what he's trying to say that sometimes joggers nowadays, they feel that they are in a marathon, so they jog in the middle of the road. Or by the side of the road without considering about what is it suitable or not. When you see a controlled manner, controlled with some authorities, being the police, traffic police, and so forth. Yeah. Okay. Now, at the end of the sentence, he is actually warning. He's giving some advice. Do not treat main roads like a training ground. It can be a warning. It can be an advice, but we'll see what is the requirement. So the letter shows that Shakir Wahab has what? Gone for jogging. Did he go for jogging? No, he did not. He's just monitoring. Inform joggers to simulate. Is he informing? No, he's not. He's just telling that what happens if joggers are not taking care of themselves and what is actually joggers doing. He is telling what he's seeing. And the last one, give a warning to joggers to not go for jogging in main roads. Which one do you think? Therefore, the answer is a C. Here, can you look here? Do not treat main roads like the training ground. Right? And the last question for part 1. Okay, the last question for part 1, number 8. This is actually an article about consumption of excessive ultra-processed food. Okay, what is ultra-processed food? Ultra-processed food are food that is being processed with chemicals so that it can withstand longer, frozen food, and so forth. Yeah. Okay, so the most suitable headline for the let's write types of ultra processed food. Does it give types of ultra processed food? No. He is actually explaining. Okay, ultra processed food are so bad for us. Is it true? Yes. You look here. It's telling you about chronic diseases, early death in men and women. So it's quite bad. It's very, very bad. And C, bad ingredient. Does it mention about ingredients? No, it does not. Okay, it's not clearly stated. It only mention, it's just mere mention of sugar and salt, low dietary fiber and full of chemical additives. Does it give you an example? No, it doesn't. It just tells you the general content of the ultra processed food. So therefore the answer is B. Alright. So altogether for part 1 we have 8 questions. Okay. Right, now let's go to part 2. Now part 2 is a part where the text is a little bit longer. This is what we call as closed passage. Closed passage means the passage is given to you and with blanks in the middle. Right? For example, I have to cut the slide into 3 parts so because it's too long. So if I make it into small, you might not be able to see the content of the text. Yeah? So this is actually part of it. This is the second and the third part. Alright. And I would just like to show you what is the trend of closed passage. Closed passage consists of 10 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these 10 options comes from variety of items. For example, you look at 0. 0 means you're answering for this question. Coffee is one of the most popular drinks around the world. Alright, so from here, from these choices, students have to choose only one. This is the part where students are being tested on their vocabulary and also on their grammar. Okay, let me explain further. If you look at number 0, popular, famous, favorite, suitable. This one is testing the students on their vocabulary because this is actually quite similar. The words are quite similar. For number 9, again, testing students on vocabulary. Good, very good. Okay. When you go into number 10, testing students on what? Again, good, vocabulary, right? When it comes to number 11, students are being tested on their grammar, which is preposition, positioning, the positioning of things. You're talking about time, you're talking about places, and so forth. But when you go into number 12, is it testing you on vocabulary or grammar? Clever, grammar. Now, for number 12, students are tested on their tenses. So this is a combination of present tense, you have past tense, you have future tense. Okay, number 13, again, students are being tested on their vocabulary, but the difference between effects, affect, and effects. So here, we are talking about singular noun, singular noun, plural noun, singular noun, plural noun. You see, when you say affect means you're talking about one. When you have s at the back, it becomes plural. Okay, alright. This is testing on the grammar. For number 14, students are again being tested on their grammar, which is their cohesive device. We are talking about linkers. Okay, number 15, students are tested on their what? Vocabulary, clever. Okay, number 16, students are tested on their grammar. Yes, true. This is also linkers when you want to join from one sentence to another. Number 17, students are tested on their vocabulary, and the last one, students are tested on their grammar. Again, quite similar to number 12. Okay, you have a combination of present, past, and future tense. Okay, alright. So if you were to look at question number 9, there are many different types of coffee, and who claims that there are more flavors of coffee than there are of wine? So definitely when you talk about coffee, coffee has to be experts, not specialists, not masters, and not professionals. Okay. Number 10, coffee contains caffeine, a what that raises our awareness, keeps us from falling asleep. Is it a type of drug? What do you think? Yes, the answer is stimulant. It makes us create awareness. We become more alert. Okay, another word is alert. Okay, number 11. Alright. Food experts, however, are still undecided. What? The answer is on how healthy coffee is. For a long time, doctors have told people not to drink too much coffee because it may lead to heart problems, high blood pressure, insomnia, and headaches. Scientists now have found out that it is the quality of the coffee and the way it is what? As the way it is being brewed. This is a past tense. Why is it a past tense? Because you are talking about things that you have discovered previously that holds the key to our health. So experts also point out that different roasts and types of coffee beans have different what? Effects, not effect. You have to know the difference between effect and effect. Effect usually is something that you can see clearly. Effect, it is something that it's related to our internal. For example, our emotion that sometimes people might look happy, but the face doesn't look happy. That's what it means. Okay. All right. Number 14. A new study by Harvard Research Group said that there's no link between coffee. So doctors, what are you saying? Doctors, however, warn against drinking too much coffee as it can lead to stomach problems. Coffee has many advantages, as the new study suggests. What alcohol makes people what? Lethargic. Lethargic is another word for tired, right? Lethargic, you feel a little bit more high. You go totally a bit slower, not tired. Tired, you can still be active. Okay, lethargic. So that is another word that a new word that you can learn. Okay, getting together for a cup of coffee is also a form of socializing. See, yeah, I'm correct. Number 17. Although a lot still needs to be uncovered about coffee, it seems to reduce. Why is it reduced? The risk of cancer and diabetes. That's what they say. Okay. And the last one, neurologists think that coffee may have a positive effect on what? Connecting. Connecting means release. Passageway in our brains. See, but most students usually they will make a lot of mistakes in part two. It's normal because some of us we are quite weak in vocabulary, some of us are quite weak in grammar as well. Okay, but no worries, students. This is actually a practice. If you do a lot of practices in this part, hopefully you can definitely do well in your examination. Okay. Alright, let's go to part 3. Now, part 3 is actually a reading comprehension, and in this reading comprehension, you actually have 8 or 7 questions that you need to answer, depending on how long is the text. Okay, now, I just would like you to know, for you to know that there's how are you going to find answers. Okay, now, in every reading passage, you will see numbering by the right, your left hand side. Okay. Number 1 means that this is paragraph 1, 2 means paragraph 2, paragraph 3, 4, 5, and 6. So altogether there are 6 paragraphs here. Okay. When you want to count the lines, you count it on your right hand side. In the previous KVSM, the number of words, the number of lines is being stated on the right hand side. But now, since the new KSSM, no more numbering is being put here. So you have to be careful because in any comprehension question, there will be one question that requires student to look for words in lines. Let me show you later afterward, yeah? Okay, now let's look at the question. Usually for comprehension question also, they will mention where for you to get the answer. Mention here paragraph 1. But sometimes it won't ask you which paragraph. They will just do it like number 2. So what you will do is you'll be looking at the main word here, rapid onset. So let's look at paragraph 2. Does rapid onset appear? Yeah, see? Rapid onset. Yeah, be careful, students. Please be careful. Okay, let's look at question number 21. Any comprehension or comprehension question, so there will be one or two questions that uses the word except. Except, so be careful. It can be one question, it can be two questions, it depends. And there will also be one question that will ask students to look for the answer in line 20. Okay, this is what I meant by line 20. Let's look at line 20. Where can we find line 20? Now, here, the line you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It means 5 lines. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is already 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. See? If you want to count, you can count. But usually the word that they highlighted, that they bold like this, is actually in the line that they asked you to count. Okay? And for this, they're asking for the synonym for deliberately. So students actually have to read really carefully before you answer question 20. Alright? Okay. And then question 24. Where do you find the word soil erosion? Always highlight. In exam hall, you cannot bring highlighters, but you still have your red pen, you still have a pencil. Just underline this and look for it. So it says here, where can I find soil erosion? Okay, let me go back a little bit. Where can I find that? Erosion. Anywhere? Okay, not in paragraph 2. Okay, this is about downpour. Only about flood. There is no erosion yet. Okay, let's look here. Anywhere for soil erosion? Yes. Meaning that for question 24, the answer is in paragraph 4. Soil erosion occurs when a downpour is too heavy and the soil cannot absorb the entire water. So this is what soil erosion meant. Okay, what does the writer say about the soil erosion? It can be very clear cut, it can be direct to the points, or sometimes you have to think of the answer. Okay? Alright. So this is how comprehension questions are actually being given to students, and this is how we do it. And they will give you paragraph 5, paragraph 6, and so forth. Okay. Now let's go to part 4. Okay. Part 4 is where students have to match sentences with a suitable starting off to continue with the next paragraph. Okay. There are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 questions here. Okay. And you are given 8 options of answer that suits to this particular text. And you can see that the text is actually more complicated compared to the third part. Okay. Traveling is by train is an adventurous way to explore a destination. Some might even consider long train journeys to be romantic or idyllic. This is because on many scenic train journeys, passengers are often taken through the countryside, hills and valleys. Meaning that this train to Dabong text is about how people nowadays begin to use trains as a medium of transportation and a way for them to be out from the city. They go out into small cities because now trains, you can train station or railways, you can actually goes through these rural areas, not urban, not so many of urban. Okay, 27. Unhurried travel has been gaining traction as a post-pandemic tourism trend after certain travel restriction lifted. It does not refer to the speed of a trip taken, also how many people the purpose of the journey. So paragraph here, this paragraph for question number 27, it is talking about what actually traveling by train actually gives you. So the answer is chance to explore small towns that are, number 27, Rail tourism these days are associated with slow travel. What does mean slow travel? Here, referring to the speed. Can you see? Okay, right. Then you can see the clue sentence here. Okay, 28. Experts have pointed out that traveling by train endorses the concept of slow travel. See, slow travel. So the answer for 28 is tourists enjoy the time taken to travel rather than simply rushing to go from one destination to another. Slow travel, so they take time. Okay, alright. In Malaysia, number 29, rail tourism goes hand in hand with rural tourism. Rural tourism, remember, when you talk about rural, you're talking about villages, small places. See, travels that connects between the cities, okay, not the main choice of traveling. What is it trying to say? A train gives travelers the chance to explore small towns that are tucked away from the busy city. What is meaning by tucked? Tucked away means hidden, secretly hidden. You have never been to the place before. That is what we meant by tucked away. Okay, 29. Number 30. What's wrong with number 30? The railway tourism product dubbed train to Dabong from Wakaf Baru to Pat to Dabong Kuala Krai is over 140 kilometers and takes about 3 hours before it was not regular option for local residents to spend their holidays and free time. When you talk about railway tourism, you're only talking about one company that is doing it, which is the KTM train ride. Okay, all this while KTM train ride was never a choice for traveling. Alright, number 31. You're talking about during the pandemic. Okay, so and unlikely town in Kelantan became a viral sensation. So you know that Dabong is situated in Kelantan. Okay, and then it was celebrated by locals when interstate travel was still restricted. Interstate means from one state to another. So what happens? Many locals will travel from Kota Baru or to Pat for a short day trip to Dabong. It's just a very short trip, so that's why people in Kelantan can travel in a day. And number 32, the answer is apart from that, the time saver for many other outdoor adventures. Why is that the answer? Because you are talking here, they give the statement here, hiking, camping, and exploring the fauna and flora. So out of all the 8 choices of answer, only C and F is not the answer for the 6 empty legs, empty spaces. Okay. Alright, let's go to the last part. Now, part 5 is the interesting part whereby students have to write down the answer. There is no more multiple choice question. Students have to actually transfer the information from one text to the question given to them, right? Now, here there is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraph of places of interest in Malaysia. You got Petronas Twin Tower, Porta di Santiago, Gunung Ledang National Park, you got Zoo Taiping, you got Penang Hill, and you got Gelanggang Sini. Okay, let's look at the question. For the first part of the question, okay, a situation is given to you, and again, students have to actually pick from the given paragraphs here, A, B, C, D, E, F, okay, which suits to the given statement. So for like number 33, when you're talking about historical place, the answer is a B. Why? Because this is actually a landmark, famous landmark in Malacca. Number 34, want to see animals at night, therefore you go to night safari. Okay, it's a B. Shazana enjoys a train ride up the hill. Which hill in this country, in this state that has train ride? Penang Hill, definitely. See, the keyword is hill. And the last one, Mutu wants to visit one of the world's tallest skyscrapers. Skyscrapers are tall buildings. Okay, alright. Now here is testing students on their vocabulary, and definitely the answer will be A, Petronas Twin Towers. Right. Students, please make sure that follow the given instruction. Paragraph means just give the alphabet for the paragraphs. And the last 4, this is the part where students actually do make mistakes, whereby they like to write more than one word. Please follow the instruction here. No more than one word for each blank. Okay. Alright, where do I get these answers? These answers can be gained down, sorry. Okay, look here. When you talk about enjoy our traditional what and cultural performances, games, where is it? We can be somewhere here. Gelanggang seni. There you have the word games, traditional games, right? Futuristic glass and steel exterior and traditionally inspired interior. You're talking about 88 story. Definitely, this is a building. So where can you find the word building? Yeah, tallest building. See, it is so clear cut answer. All right, number 39. Johor is also famous for the what? When you talk about Puteri Gunung Ledang, legend. Definitely this is a legend. And the last one is some well-known what? Like Kota di Santiago, landmarks. The answer is landmarks. Is it landmarks? Let's look. Yes, it is a landmark here. Right? So just make sure that when you do this question, 37 to 40, the spelling has to be correct. If it is in plural nouns, so it has to be in plural nouns. If it's a word by itself, so students have to find the word in the passage itself. Okay. So I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for bearing with me. There are other more to come. Okay, I hope to see you soon. Please take care, stay safe, everyone. Bye.